All right, so Foundations of Math 10, this is section 1.2, and it's a bit of a math lab. Now, I've adapted this. It doesn't look the exact same as in your textbook, okay? But what I'm asking you to do is to copy this chart below here, the one that I'm going to show you in a second, at the bottom of the screen, and we're going to be filling out this chart with a partner today. And what we're going to do is we're going to be measuring different objects around the school. So we're going to get out of the classroom, move around a little bit. And this lab, the intention is to help you understand the different units of measurement. All right? So we have this chart. We haven't filled out what we're going to measure yet. We'll brainstorm that together. But we're going to measure the height of this object, if it's applicable, the width and the depth as well. We're going to measure those in inches, and then you're going to measure those in feet. And then we're going to measure those in centimeters and meters, okay, at whatever, wherever applicable. But I just want to go over here real quickly. I want to go over how to take measurements on your measuring tape. So you're all going to have a measuring tape, and on that measuring tape, the centimeters are pretty straightforward, right? Centimeters are based on units of 10. And so if we look at our centimeter chart, this is 1 centimeter, and we have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And these would be millimeters, right? Each one of these little sections. So if you have a, let's just say we have some kind of object that is this long. Now, I don't know if you guys see that real well? Oh, you can't see that at all. Okay, there you go. How's that? Yeah, no, it's okay. You can say the screen's frozen. That happens once in a while. I get this hand. Yes, you have a question. The screen's frozen. Okay, sorry. All right. So, anyways, this little yellow arrow, let's say this is something we're measuring, all right? So what you would do is you would obviously put the very start of the, the beginning of the object right at the 0 mark on your tape measure. And of course, the tape measure has a little, kind of a little hooky thing right here, right? So you're just going to hook it on the end of the object, and you're going to pull the tape measure out. Now, this one right here, it appears that the very tip of this object lines up with, now this is really tough to tell, but it looks like it lines up somewhere right about there. Okay? Now, can you round to the nearest millimeter? Yes, you can. So let's do that. So measurements in centimeters will be to the nearest 1 decimal place. Okay? All right, so this is what we're going to do. For this object right here, can anyone tell me what the measurement would be if we're measuring to the nearest millimeter? What would you say this one is? 4.7 what? Yes, the unit would be centimeters. Okay, who agrees with 4.7? Ready? All right, so let's count here. We've got 4, that's good, we know at least it's 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this looks to be closest to this one, 7. I would agree. Yeah, that's good. So that's not a problem. We're just talking tenths of a unit here for centimeters. The issue becomes, all right, when, and I'm going to see if I can just copy this thing right here, and we'll paste her down there. The issue becomes when we have to measure something in inches. Now this is a little less, it's a little less common, a little more difficult. But if you notice something here, the inches are not in groups of 10. Okay, these little tick marks here, there's not 10 of them, right? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right? And in inches, it's not on a base 10, okay? We have, obviously this right here would be 0.5 inches, or 1/2 of an inch. And I'm not even going to use decimals, actually. I'm going to use fractions, okay? So this is 1/2 of an inch right here. That makes sense, right? What is 1/2 of a half? Very good, 1/4, okay? So this right here is 1/4 of an inch. Now, does that make sense? Well, we've got 1/2 inch, and 1/2 of a half is 1/4, yeah. So what is this distance right here? It is, yes, this is 1/8. It's 1/2 of a quarter. Okay? And there's one more that's, I think, in your measuring tapes that you will be able to look at. I mean, there's as many as you want. But let's go, what's 1/2 of an eighth then? Right. I hope you're noticing the pattern. We're just doubling the denominator here, right? So this is 1/1 right here, right? That's 1. 1/2 is 1/2. So we double that again, the denominator there, to go 1/2 of that. 4, 8, 16. Now, here's the tricky thing, okay? If we are measuring this, okay, let's see, what should I do here? Are we going to go to eighths or sixteenths? Now, I think on your measuring tapes here, it looks like they're measuring sixteenths. So we're going to round to the nearest 16th of an inch. So this right here, the length of this yellow arrow, again, appears to be right about here. And you would have divisions of sixteenths on your measuring tape. Okay? All right? So each one of these little blue marks there that I'm just putting down, those are sixteenths. So this measure right here appears to be closest to this mark right here, the sixteenths. Now, this is the tricky part about measuring in inches. We know that this is half. This would be half right here, right? And how many eighths is that? So 1/2 is how many eighths? 4. Very good. Because you see 4 is half of 8, right? So this is 4/8. This right here is where we start to go. This is 5/8. Okay? That's 5/8. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8. This right here, one more, would be how many eighths? 6/8. But can we reduce the fraction of 6/8? Yeah, you can. This would be what? 3/4. So let me just erase this. Okay? You'll see on your measuring tape these little divisions here, and let me just clean this right up. Okay? My arrow's gone. That's okay. So this is 1/2 right here. This is 5/8 right here. This is 3/4 right here, because you see there's a half and there's 3/4 and there's the next one. This would be what? 5, 6. This is 7/8 right here. Now when we talk about the sixteenths, guys, this is where it gets a bit tricky. What is 1/2 in sixteenths? 8/16. Good. That's why we don't call it 8/16, but we call it 1/2. But what about this next little unit right here? What's one more 16th there? What's that? It's not 8/16. It's one more 16th. So that is, this is 9/16. Now, how many of you have experience with shop or with wrenches? SAE wrenches. You guys, have you ever heard of half-inch socket or half-inch wrench? Okay. The next common one is 9/16. It's just a little bit bigger. Then you have 5/8 wrench, right? Now, what's the next 16ths here? Let's keep going. So we have 8/16, 9/16. 5/8 is actually 10/16. So what's this one? 11/16. Yeah, that's 11. This would be 3/4 is 12/16. You see, each one of these you just count a 16th and you count it up. Sometimes we have to simplify the fraction, but that's kind of how you do it. So again, this is 11/16. This is 12/16. So this one right here, the measure that we're actually looking for, is going to be what? How many 16ths here? 13/16. Oh my goodness, 13/16 right here. So we have a measure of 1 and 13/16. So aren't you like happy about the metric system right now? 4.7 or 1 and 13/16. Okay, so that's what you do. You do 1 and 13 over 16ths of an inch. That would be your measurement in inches. Okay. Now we're gonna do our best here. If it's like you're measuring the locker or something and you can't measure to the nearest 16th, then just go to the nearest 8th. That's fine. Okay. I mean, whatever. But I want you to try and be, between you and your partner, try and be as accurate, as precise as you can. All right. Okay. So let's go back to our chart now. Now that we've kind of got that explained just a little bit, let's go back to our chart and let's come up with some objects here. Okay, so we're just gonna pause the video here. We're gonna talk about which objects we're gonna do around the school, and then we'll come back. Okay, so one of them is gonna be a desk, and actually, just so we know here, I've changed depth to length on this chart. Just that made a little bit more sense to all of us. So we've changed up the length. But the desk, the width or the length of the desk, okay, the broadest part of the desk was 24 and then 1/4 inch. So this is inches, remember. So now let's do this one in feet and inches. So we know that 24 inches is exactly 2 feet, right? So we said that's 2 feet, and then 1/4 of an inch. So let's go over here. That's 2 feet, and that's just one little tick mark there, and then 1/4 of an inch extra. Okay? And then we'll do this in centimeters and meters. So you're going to have actually 2 sections in this row. So centimeters, this looks to be like 61.6. That's what I've got here, 61.6. And you guys can confirm this when you get your tape measures and when you get going on this. 60, what did I say? 61.6. All right, now meters. This is going to be a little tricky. How do you get to meters from centimeters? Actually, it's not that hard. Who knows how we get to meters from centimeters? If I know centimeters, divide by 100. Yes. So what's this in meters? You don't even have to measure it. You can just use your brain here. 0.616. Okay? So you just move that decimal place back a couple times. All right? Okay, so that's a little bit of an example of what I'm looking for. And let's come up with the rest of the list here. So here's the list we came up with. We're going to do our desk. We're going to do the door of the classroom, or any classroom that's vacant if somebody else is using the door here. But self, okay, we're just going to do our heights. Okay, so measure your heights there. The locker, one of the lockers outside. I know they're all a little bit, some of them are a bit different dimensions. That's fine. Just pick one and take some measurements. A textbook, a table. All right, so find a table either in the lounge or in a vacant classroom. A window, and the photocopier. There's a photocopier on the second floor that I know is out in the hallway there for sure. The other one's in the science or the computer lab and all that sort of stuff. Just maybe stay away from those because those are probably the classes in there. But there's one in the hallway in the second floor. Okay, any questions at all? I want you to work in pairs, okay? And I want you to each kind of make sure you each take measurements, okay? Take turns doing all the duties. Each of you need to fill out the chart, so it's not just one per group, it's each person, okay? So if we can get into groups, and you can go ahead and